My name is Andy Schweitzer. This is a video about Bunsen burners, safety Bunsen burners, and how to light Bunsen burners. We're going to talk about a few things here. One, we're going to talk about the valve that we use to bring gas to our Bunsen burners. We're going to talk about the Bunsen burner itself, how to light it, how to adjust it, and then the ring stand, followed by some of the safety precautions that we will want to use on a daily basis. So first of all, one of the main components of the Bunsen burner is the gas. We need a fuel source. So our valve here is pretty standard of any valve system, especially if it has a flat handle. Anytime the flat handle is perpendicular to the spout, then it is in the off location. So very common, students will come in and they will take this valve, open it, push it all the way across the front of the spout. The gas is on, I can actually hear the gas at this point, and then they continue over to the other side and then they attempt to light their Bunsen burner. Since the fuel is off, the Bunsen burner will not light, and then they will call me and ask me why the Bunsen burner won't light. Well, then just by visual inspection, I can see that the valve is in fact off. So again, when it's parallel to the spout, it is on. At this point, if you have halfway decent hearing, you will be able to hear the gas coming out, which it is right now. Once the gas reaches the Bunsen burner, there are a few different parts of the Bunsen burner that you're going to want to be aware of. First of all, there is a little screw in the bottom of this thing, this Bunsen burner. It's invented by Robert Bunsen. Did a lot of other things in chemistry, but this happens to be one he is known more for than other things. So either way, the gas is going to come out this very small hole here, probably the head of a pin or something. It's quite tiny. And then this is a little pin that goes in and can plug that hole. It screws up and will eventually block that hole and shut the gas off. You could shut the gas off at this point. I would like you to use that valve to shut the Bunsen burner off. I want to use this pin to control the size of your flame. Very important. This little pin will restrict gas flow, controlling the size of your flame. You want a bigger flame? This is what you use to create a larger flame. Opening that hole more allows more fuel and therefore a larger flame. Again, you just open and closes, going up and down, plugging that hole or opening it up. This thing here is just, I guess you call it the shaft. Screws on top. This allows our second component of our Bunsen burner flame, which is air or oxygen. We need a fuel source and we need an oxidizer, something to add oxygen to the carbon atoms and create carbon dioxide and water and heat and a flame. So what happens is as gas travels up the stem of the Bunsen burner, this creates a convection, which will then suck air up through the bottom, these little openings here. You need a very specific amount of oxygen to burn, and depending on the fuel you're burning will determine that ratio, whether it's in this case natural gas or propane in your gas grills, butane for a lighter, or whatever it might be. Your car runs on a more complicated carbon molecule, so it requires a different amount of oxygen. But this opening, whether it's screwed on tighter, will eventually close down this hole for air to get in. Therefore, all burning and mixing air will take place up top here, and therefore that's very inefficient. We want to mix the air first, then burn it. Opening this up will allow more and more air in. Now again, there's a specific amount of air we need. So there's an optimal amount to which this thing can go up and down and adjust that amount specifically. Okay, can be done. This does not get hot. Even the very end does not get hot. The flames up top, all the heat's going up. You can easily adjust this while it's burning. Push it on here tightly. Okay. So just a quick review again. The bottom screw controls the size of the flame. This controls what I would call the type of flame. The type of flame meaning, do I want to have a more of an orange flame that's being not very hot, being starved of oxygen, or do I want a flame that's more bluish, hotter, which is kind of what I want for my more controlled for my chemistry experiments. Okay, so now let's just move on to actually lighting the Bunsen burner. Okay, so first of all, leaning over, turning the gas on. If you're shorter, is more difficult. If you need help, let me know. You know, at all points in time, if you have any questions, please ask. Listen for instructions, but ask. Turn on the gas. At this point, you should hear it. If you don't hear gas coming out, it could be turned off at the instructor's location by the door. Or this could be shut off right here. You should be able to hear it easily, unless you are hard of hearing. At this point, to light the Bunsen burner, what you want to do is you want to take a match or a lighter or whatever it might be. And I'm not going to explain how to work that, but when you have your match, lighting the Bunsen burner at the top it just doesn't work. It'll start, but it doesn't work very well. If you take this match and right at the edge, it lights up. Okay? Please don't throw the match in the wastebasket. Set it down somewhere walking the way, and later and at the end of the lab period, you can clean it up. So we have a good flame here. It's blue. It's got an inner cone. That's the top inner cone is the hottest part of the flame. I can adjust this flame to being more and more oxygen, and as I get more and more oxygen, well, this thing will eventually come off. But you could have such a large amount of oxygen coming in that you have a hard time sustaining the flame. It jumps off or just goes out very quickly. Like all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. That tells me there's too much oxygen and I want to reduce the oxygen down. I want a richer fuel mixture. If a kid says, "Oh, Mr. Schweitzer, my Bunsen burner just keeps going out," I'm going to screw this down in order to get a richer oxygen mixture and not have as much just straight up air in there, which of course won't burn. If I screw it down even farther, you will see that it starts to starve it of oxygen. I've lost my inner cone, and I'm now going to get an orange flame. Okay, you notice it kind of waffles around. It just isn't nearly as efficient in what we'd like to have. This is not the type of flame that you want to have. So you want to take it. If you have this flame, simply open it up until you get a nice inner cone. Okay, that to me be right about there. You could, at some point, unscrew it and this whole top just comes off. Not something that I would recommend. It's not going. It's just going to go out at this point usually. Okay, but there it goes. Okay, so don't be afraid of the Bunsen burner. Understand how it works. Understand what you're dealing with, so you can use it appropriately. Don't be afraid of it. Some things that can go wrong, or how it would work, is you'd put the Bunsen burner on here. It could, if it's tipping on you, just adjust the Bunsen burner a little bit. It's the way it's rotated around, and you could have a little tension here. Try and adjust it. The wire gauze. This is the wire gauze. We have the ring stand and the ring. The wire gauze goes here, and things that you're heating, like let's say a beaker, would go on top. If there's a special device you want to heat, it may have a special holding device for the ring stand. Other safety concerns. One is if this thing's been heating all hour, the ring itself is quite hot. So you will find out very quickly if you come in the lab and there was a class the previous hour, you grab onto this to move it for yourself, you will find out very quickly how hot that thing might be. So be aware of that. The other things we're concerned about here are, one, hair, clothing starting on fire. Your hair is extremely flammable, and we do not want to find out at all. So if you have long hair, I will be constantly preaching you to tie it back with a rubber band. There are rubber bands located right next to the drawer of the matches. So let me know. I will get you a rubber band. Other things we have is things falling off of here. That is an issue. We'll talk about that in a later video. But again, it's a matter of being careful. Reaching over to turn this thing on and off is also an issue. Like I said, ask for help. That's the Bunsen burner. If I wanted to recap a little bit, a couple highlights again, this controls the size of the flame. This controls the type of flame. Know how your valve works. Know that when you light your Bunsen burner, light it at the base.